Well, good morning. A beautiful, rainy, cloudy Thursday, February 7th. Um, I just wanted to share another right hand drill for flat pickers, or for any pickers really. The right hand is the core of our sound. The right hand, as I've come to learn, now this is, I'm in year 6 of learning flat picking style, having spent most of my life doing finger style and some strumming, but never the flat picking style. And it's a very specific technique. So the right hand, you begin to really kind of geek out on that stuff and really obsess a little bit. But there are certain things that you hear when you hear people play, not just flat pickers, but everybody who picks with proficiency and uses a flat pick. There's a smoothness, there's a phrasing, there's a, and I've noticed now, having studied it, when I watch a beginner with a pick, that there's that, it's a very mechanical, stiff kind of, and it's often too loud and irregular, erratic, and even after they've played for a while, they still tend to play a little too heavy, too much work. And what I've discovered is that, I'm always trying to just get my hand relaxed, and I want to feel the pick, the edge of the pick, and they can talk about how to hold it and all of that stuff, but I want to feel the edge of that moving over the strings, just as like, let the pick do the work. And my hand just takes, it's almost like I'm taking a stylus and just scribbling on the strings. When that gets disrupted from tension or pressure, and it takes a balance, you have to really have the pick at the right level on the strings. Some people say don't anchor. I don't know if I do, or sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't know. I just I let it find its own way there. My focus is on relaxing that right arm and feeling a hinge. You'll often hear about kind of from up on the here, but not, you got to have some flexibility, and there's sort of a turning of the wrist. I think if you were to slow it down and look at a lot of picker motion online. So, but this little exercise, so what happens is this little motion, basically you continually condense it, but the motion is kind of the same until you get it down to one string, at a time, or a couple strings. So I want that same feeling of that motion. I just feel like I'm sort of taking the pick and just running it back and forth over the string. And I want to keep it in time and even in whatever tempo, and keep a feel, maybe a swing, or a swing groove. Like that. So, and where the big hang-up comes, this is perhaps more into intermediate stuff, is I think in between the string switching, when you're going between strings, back and forth inside the strings. Outside's it's a little easier because it's more natural, what we're used to, playing the outside. In other words, down on that one and up on that one, But inside, from the top to the bottom, down and up, because you're down past the string, then you have to come up on the lower string, so you're going back and forth. And my feeling is that we want to be as musical as possible. So in a nutshell, here's an exercise, and it starts like this. You're basically 1, 2, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, like that, right? And then on the and we start to move it over. So you got a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. That's your first one. The second one, then you go to 2s on each. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. Now so you got 2 in a row. So you got 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and 3 E and a 4 E and a. And then you take 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, so you can start out with 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2. So you got 2 on each. And I got 1 on the top, 3 on the bottom. And then the pickups. And then back and forth. Then you start with the bottom. And you do it in the opposite direction. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 E and a 2 E and 1 E and a 2 E and then you go down. Now the important part is to, of course, use your metronome. Let me see if I can pull up one of these inexpensive free metronomes. This is Asparion metronome, Asparion, and sometimes it drops a beat. I'm going to set it kind of slow. Here's, let's see, da, da, da. That's 75 beats a minute. Playing the eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3. Playing eighth notes, 1, and those are eighth notes, 1 and 2, swung eighth notes, right? So here's the whole thing in a nutshell. Relaxation, natural, just let the pick move over the string. Sorry. We go down to the next one. Etc. All the way down to the all the way down to the. Now I might pick up the tempo a little bit when I do this as a warm-up drill, just to kind of get my hand going. But I want that feel of nice and easy. Then bottom, just like that, up and down. And on down. So that when I start playing rhythm and just start playing, those little motions, see those little things that find their way in? It's not as intentional. It's just sort of happen. It just sort of happens when you're keeping rhythm, as opposed to just. But that little up and down feel, those little micro movements, if you will, between strings. That sort of feel, okay? Riding on the city of New Orleans, built a Central Monday morning rain. 15 cars, 15 restless riders, 3 conductors and 25 cents. So those all that little stuff finds its way into a strum pattern, and some of it by design intention, but otherwise I'm just letting my hand, and what I've done this so many times now, and I'm not a fast player. It just hasn't happened for me. But I try to be consistent, musical, and play what I need to play that supports the music I like to play and music with friends, and not get in the way of others. So that little string switching exercise, it's a daily calibration, takes all of about 5 minutes at best. So between that one and the little up and down rolls that I put up here, those are a couple of really good right hand training exercises. But and I spend some time every day just kind of. I haven't done this yet today, so this is my first. And I try not to work too hard at it. I just want to get that feel. Now I want to maybe focus on what it feels like if my index finger, the upstroke, if I give a little more pressure, if I just put a little pressure on it. Listen what happens. Here's just equal pressure. And I find that beginners, that upstroke thing, that part, it's when you focus on it, it sounds kind of mechanical. I just want it to fall in naturally. And if I want to bring out something on that upstroke, I'll just put a little pressure on my index finger on the pick, here on this side, on the upstroke. So I'll and it doesn't take much. But I'm feeling like I'm really pushing my upstroke with the index finger, pushing from up underneath it. So I'll play around with that a little bit just to get the feel in my thing. And you notice, if I can get, you can kind of see a little motion through up in here, and it's relaxed. It's just letting the weight of the arm kind of carry it through. And, mostly it's done over this half of the sound hole, kind of somewhere in here. For the basic, if I want something like, but it gives me control over that right hand a little bit, so I'm not just banging away. So when you're at your jam and somebody else is taking solos and everybody's playing, back off a little bit, use your ears and listen a little bit, and use the jam sound as kind of your metronome, and play with just. Simple little, your G run, pick every one. Little things like that just add some color, but it comes out of this. Don't go too fast. Don't go so fast that it knocks you out of the groove, that it turns into like something you're working furiously at. It should never be that. I think the best really fast players, it looks effortless and it sounds effortless. Those of us who try to play too fast, it sounds like we're working way too hard. String switching. Nothing wrong with that sound. Nice and easy does it. And just let the pick do the work, man. Yo-Yo Ma says he feels like his bowing, Yo-Yo Ma the cellist, his bowing arm, he said, it's like the breath of a singer. That's where the sound initiation happens. It's the strike, it's the movement of the bow across the strings while the left hand makes the notes. Guitar players, our breath is the pick across the strings. And if somebody's saying, some people do sing like that all the time. Others sing a little too lightly and a little too, but just have a broad palette of strokes that you can use, but start with that. If you're looking to articulate, this is a nice little drill just to kind of get the right hand going before you. So there you go. There's a little something from a 5-year-old flat picker. Have a great day, everybody.